There has been a ton of movement in the 2025 NFL offseason, including some trades and free agency as well, especially in the NFC East. And in today's video, we're going to be grading all of the teams in the NFC East, how they did, and a lot of it is going to come down to what kind of player they added, team needs, did they overpay, did they underpay, did they get a really good deal. We're going to break down everything. Before we dive into the video, comment down below, who do you think had the best offseason throughout the first week of these teams here? Let me know in the comments, and let's just dive right in. Now, let's start off with the Philadelphia Eagles. They added some really interesting pieces, but I think it's fair to say they had one of the most difficult positions to start this offseason, obviously needing to re-sign a bunch of really good players from this last season, but more importantly, having to save cap space to prepare to pay Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith. I mean, the young players go on and on and on, and those guys will need to be re-signed. So they ultimately lose Josh Sweat, who I think is amazing. You lose Milton Williams, Darius Slay, trade CJ Gardner-Johnson. Other than that, didn't lose anything crazy. Maybe Isaiah Rodgers and Mekhi Becton were, guys who had a lot of potential. But some of the guys they added, I actually really liked a lot more than other people. Now, the first player that's interesting to me is Texans offensive lineman Kenyon Green. A ton of potential, an early round draft pick, a guy who I think could come in here and revitalize his career with this Philadelphia Eagles unit. However, it's all potential. He's been terrible, absolutely terrible in his career thus far. I do like the potential of Kenyon Green a lot more than others, though. Also really like the signing of A.J. Dillon. This is a guy that welcomes contact, and he's very hard to take down, especially in cold weather games. I think this dude could be a unit. Look at him just lower the shoulder here. Again, he is not going to be asked to be a starter over Saquon. He's going to be able to spell, come in on third and short situations. Again, another guy with a lot of potential. Early round draft pick. I think he could become something here in Philadelphia. And then there's Adoree Jackson, the former New York Giant, another player I like. Look at this one-on-one coverage. You have one high safety cheating to the middle of the field, right? We're just going to get one-on-one. Derek Carr is going to drop back, and he's going to throw this thing up. The one thing I like about Adoree Jackson, he's very instinctual, right? Sees his wide receivers going for the football, so immediately turns his head, looks back, avoid any penalties, and then boom, swat that thing down. Adoree Jackson is another guy, when you lose Darius Slay, when you lose Isaiah Rodgers, he could easily step in and be a day one starting cornerback, depending on how he competes in the offseason. You also have Kelee Ringo, who I think could be their starter as well, so I think that adds much needed depth to their group. From there, we can talk about them re-signing Zach Bond, A-plus move, right? Adding A.J. Dillon, Kenyon Green, Adoree Jackson. I love those moves potential-wise. You bring in Josh Uche, who I think could be a really good pass rusher. Maybe someone to take some snaps away from, obviously, Josh Sweat leaving to the Cardinals. You also have Jalen Hunt, who I like. So overall, I think they've done a good job adding cheap kind of replacements, but in the draft is where they're really going to hit on some picks. I can almost guarantee it. They also added a bunch of, picks for next season due to some of these guys leaving. I think they even got a third round draft pick as well for next year, so that's insane. But overall, I'm going to give the Philadelphia Eagles a solid C+, just considering all of the things that they had to do. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys, and this one was interesting to say the least. You want to talk about adding potential? This is exactly what they did, and outside of that, they didn't do much else. Now, I'm a guy who loves potential. Getting former first-round picks who have screamed nothing but talent coming out of college, those guys can still really pan out, or they might not. Now, immediately, they lost some really big-time depth pieces, obviously starting with DeMarcus Lawrence, Rico Dowdle, Chauncey Golston, who went to an in-division rival. Zach Martin did retire, Jordan Lewis as well, and those are some big losses, but here's what they did to fix it. Now, first of all, I love the addition of Jack Sanborn. You're going to see him right here shoot the gap and blow up Sean Tucker. This is a guy that I think screams untapped potential and could be a massive fit here for the Dallas Cowboys in year one with them. And then there's Kenneth Murray, who, again, I think has a lot of untapped potential. Here's another gat shoot here. gets the running back in the backfield for a loss. Now, do I think he's as much of a hit as Jack Sanborn? No, I think he's much more of a shot in the dark. Again, former first-round pick with a ton of potential. Will it hit? I have no idea. And if it does, great. They're getting a really good, talented, high IQ, and at times inconsistent, but man, athletic freak in Kenneth Murray. I really hope it pans out, but there's a chance it doesn't. And then you have Kaiir Elam, another one of these guys who just has potential, but has not been good in his NFL career thus far. Here's a one-on-one, left shoulder fade, jumps it, gets the interception. Cool, right? We need to see more plays like this. Kaiir Elam got absolutely torched versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I get it, Patrick Mahomes, but again, this is nothing close to a sure thing. Now, from here, I absolutely love the signing of Dante Fowler. This dude is an absolute unit, one of the best pass rushers in the game, and I think you get him at a really nice price. However, does not help out in the run game at all. The Dallas Cowboys are one of the worst run defenses in football last year. This move specifically doesn't help him there, but he will continue to dominate, continue to get to the quarterback, and him, Micah Parsons, should be an elite duo together. Outside of him, right, I like Peyton Turner, another former first-round pick, another guy with a lot of potential. Can they get it at him? I have no idea. Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, interesting one-year deals. I feel like those are, a downgrade to Rico Dowdle. In my opinion, maybe you can, argue otherwise. But from there, Robert Jones is okay. Solomon Thomas is okay. Nothing really stands out besides untapped potential. Now, I like a couple of things that the Cowboys did. Added some interesting defensive potential with some of those guys. I don't know how I feel about the backfield additions. I think they'll draft one. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to give this a C+. Just because if some of that potential hits, if you say Kaiir Elam and Peyton Turner hit, well, you just got insane athletes who are obviously going to be better here in Dallas. That would be amazing. That would turn this to a B+ type of offseason. I also say another thing, Jerry Jones needs to bring it during this NFL draft. He needs to go out there and dominate, get some real big potential, high floor type of players, and I'll love this offseason. Guys, real quickly, before we deep dive any further into this video, make sure you do me a big favor. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family, turn on post notifications. If we get over 500 likes on this video, we'll be getting a part 2 ASAP. Let's dive in. Now, the New York Giants are in a weird spot where this front office needs to win now, right? Brian Daboll, Joe Shane, these guys need to win ASAP, and there's nothing else to it. If they don't win this year, if they don't win 7, 8, 9, 10 games, they're going to be fired, and they're gone, right? Now, I actually love what they've done. Let's talk about it. Let's just start right off with Jevon Holland. This is a guy that can play in multiple different positions, whether you want to play him in the slot, the nickel, deep safety, outside corner, in run support, in the box. This is a guy that can play anywhere. Now, obviously, Giants losing Xavier McKinney to the Green Bay Packers last offseason, that hurt them a ton this year. Jevon Holland is a guy that is going to make a lot of plays for a football team, and I thought this was one of the best signings of free agency. You also add a guy like Chauncey Golston, who right here we're going to attack the outside, and then Golston's going to come in and get to that right guard. Watch how he's able to dominate this guy right at the point of attack and then come up with the sack here on Bryce Young. This is a guy that I think has a ton of potential as not only a pass rusher, but someone who had 30 stops last season. The New York Giants last season finished the year ranking 24th in yards allowed per rush. Now, Goldston's not specifically a run stopper, but he adds a lot of versatility in terms of he can do both. Now, I would say the majority of his production is probably going to be getting to the quarterback, but that is important as well. The Giants ranked number 5 in the NFL last year in sack percentage, and that number might go up even more. Now, I absolutely love Paulson Adebo. Look at this play here. This dude is an athlete. This dude is a dog. This is a guy that I would want on my football team anywhere. I don't care what team you are, go get a Paulson Adebo. Now, yes, he's coming off an injury, but if he's able to get healthy, this is going to be such a great signing. Not only is he a guy that's not afraid to go make a tackle on anybody, but he's also really good in coverage as well. Got good size at 6'1", 192 pounds, only 25 years old. Man, I'll take Paulson Adebo every single day of the week. I love this one. Now, I also feel like the Giants took a page out of the Eagles' book and just loaded up with depth along that defensive line. Roy Robertson Harris is another one that I absolutely love, just because, again, you can never have too many pass rushers. You can never have too many guys that can stop the run, and Roy Robertson Harris is another one of those guys. Now, I'm actually going to give the Giants a B-. Now, I love the signings that they made. However, there's still a big hole. Who's going to the quarterback going to be? I'm going to deem this as an unfinished grade. If it's Aaron Rodgers, I'm honestly going to give them an A- for this year's free agency period, the offseason thus far. If it ends up being, anybody else, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, might go down to like a B+ from there. If it's Shedeur Sanders, I get really nervous. Is he ready to play right away? I don't know. Let me know who you guys think the quarterback should be and who do you think it will be come week 1 of the NFL season. So yeah, B- for now, but that has a lot of room to go up. From here, we got the Washington Commanders. Guys, you already know what I'm going to give this as a grade, but I will wait to tell you just a little bit longer. This team made some acquisitions, and I am all in on almost every single signing. Now, first of all, I know this was a trade, but Debo was a perfect fit. You talk about how this guy works off, at line of scrimmage passes. Amazing, right? This is a guy that can play make in open space, make guys miss, absolutely dynamic in the backfield, insane versatility of where he can line up, plays a lot bigger than he really is. I love this pickup here for the Commanders. Instantly makes them a better offense. And then you add one of the best left tackles in football with your rookie quarterback. Yeah, I'm all in. Look what he's doing to Trey Hendrickson versus the Bengals. I love this pickup, guys. You can't get better than this. If you're adding a first high tier, elite tier left tackle for your offense with your quarterback on a rookie contract, you are doing things right. They're doing it the perfect way. Love this one. And then you add a guy like Jonathan Jones, another one I like for this team. Yes, they did bring back Noah Igbinoghene. You still have Mike Sainristil and Marshawn Lattimore, but now the depth is insane. If you need a guy to come in and fill in for a game, Jonathan Jones has one, great speed and great man cover ability. In this game versus the Bills, he held Khalil Shakir to one catch in 12 man coverage routes for about 12 yards. I love Jonathan Jones. Former Auburn Tiger, New England Patriot corner with really good speed. Again, you talk about this pickup, not going to be forced to be a day one starter, but will add immediate competition to the room. And then everybody's hating on Javon Kinlaw, and I don't understand why. The Eagles handed everybody a blueprint. Hey, this is how you win a Super Bowl. Have insane depth along the defensive line. Javon Kinlaw adds a really unique way of rushing the quarterback where he can line up in multiple different positions. He can line up in a 1-tech, a 2-tech, a 5 technique. This dude can line up everywhere. And now you add him alongside Dorrance Armstrong, Deron Payne, Cleveland Farrell's back, Dietrich Wise, Jerzon Newton, Eddie Goldman, Jacob Martin. You have 8 guys who can automatically play if you need them to. And then you have a guy like Will Harris, who might even be a day one starter at the safety position, depending on what they do in the draft. Look at the read, react, attack. I mean, this is beautiful, right? He doesn't make a tackle here, but look how quickly he recognizes, all right, we're going to get a fake handoff to the opposite side. Look at this. Beautiful job reading what the offense is doing. We're getting guys out to left. Teams just don't do this for no reason. He reads it perfectly. One of the only guys who overcommits and sets the edge. Forces him up to his teammate who makes a tackle. Will Harris, beast. Overall, I couldn't be more excited for the Washington Commanders. They add Deebo Samuel. They add Laramie Tunsil, Jonathan Jones, Javon Kinlaw, Will Harris, Dietrich Wise, Eddie Goldman, right? They re-signed Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz. You bring back Marcus Mariota, who meshed very well with Jaden Daniels. You add some wide receiver depth as well to the unit with the guy, for example, KJ KJ Osborne. He was here last year, didn't play too much. I think he was just on the practice squad. I like bringing him back as well. From there, you let go of Jonathan Allen. You add Javon Kinlaw. I'm cool with that, right? Jeremy Chin, I hate seeing him go, but Will Harris isn't too much of a downgrade in terms of what he can do. De'Ami Brown and Dante Fowler are guys that I don't love them losing, especially because Fowler's going to the Cowboys. But overall, everything that you see here, I'm giving this an A+. The Washington Commanders killed it, and man, they're going to be one of my favorite teams to watch next year. Once again, I cannot wait. Imagine, what are they going to do in the draft? Oh man, this team is going to be fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who did the best? Who killed it this offseason? Who maybe didn't kill it? Let me know your comments, and hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next update. Peace.